don't publish that book. I continuously see authors making these same mistakes over and over. You have that manuscript in hand and you're really excited. You just want to get it out there, but then your sales are falling flat and you're not sure why. So today, let's talk about the top 5 mistakes that I'm seeing new authors make and how we can fix them to boost those book sales. All right, ready? Number 1. Rushing the writing and publishing process. So there is a lot to it. And that first draft it's just that. It's a first draft. There's so much more that has to be done. I think proper editing is probably the most important, which is then going to lead to rewrites and revisions. Again, so important. Formatting. Formatting is really important. Making sure that book is readable, it is aesthetically pleasing. There's so many little steps. So don't rush those. Go ahead and just know that once you're finished with that book, that's really when the work begins and you've got a lot more to do. Okay, on to number 2, not defining a target audience. So a book that is written by an author for everyone is appreciated by no one, right? So some of the most successful authors, they know who their audience is. They know who they're writing for. They're able to tailor their tone. They tailor their style. You've got to have an audience in mind during the writing process, but even afterwards, you've got to know who you're marketing that book to. Got it? Okay, next. Skipping professional editing and proofreading. Again, that's, we talked about it in the first one, but readers notice errors. And I see a lot of authors that are putting it out there with their beta readers and saying, oh, they came back and said it was great. Well, beta readers aren't trained to see things that are going to show up in your manuscript, right? So we don't want to just push it out there to friends, family. You can even hire some beta readers. They're reading it as a reader. You want someone that's going to look at it through the eye of an editing professional and who is not going to be afraid to say, hey, these are your mistakes. So I do know, it's an expensive portion of the writing process. It's a big expense. I get it, but I promise you won't regret it, especially if you're trying to push that book out for publishing companies to pick up. They're not going to pick up a book that's full of mistakes. Ready for number 4? Neglecting marketing and platform building. Okay, so family and friends, I've said it 100 times, you're only going to sell so many books to those folks. Throwing it out on your Facebook page is not marketing. Once you get to that finish line, it's really a starting line, right? So we finished one step, but you're on to a next step. So without marketing, a social media presence is important beyond family and friends. You have email lists. You should begin building an email list the moment you decide you're going to write a book. Go ahead and start talking about it. You need a launch strategy. You need a countdown, some content calendars of what you're going to publish, when you're going to post it, who you're going to target it towards. Even the best book can go completely unnoticed if it's just thrown out there in the masses. Okay, number 5, last one. Failure to treat it like a business. So a lot of authors think, they're in this mindset of writing as a hobby. Writing is something they do, and maybe that is a passion that you have. But selling books is a business. You have a book business. So it's not going to hurt to run it like a business. Figure out how other small companies, local businesses, are running their businesses and look at that in the same manner when you're talking about your books. So you've got to budget. There's a budget for your costs, or you're going to find yourself either not spending the money that you need to spend to get your book out there, or you're going to overspend and not in the right way, so it doesn't produce the sales. That's so disheartening. You've got to set realistic timelines. You definitely need to write out a timeline of what you're doing and when, and refer to that often. What about royalties? Have you learned about royalties and how they work? Because again, you're going to count your pennies and the dollars will make sense of themselves, right? We're wanting to look at every little thing and make sure that we understand where our money is coming from, where our sales are coming from. Plan long term strategies. So there's excitement when that book first comes out. And then as writers, what do we want to do? We want to write. So we're throwing that book out and then we're starting the next one. You've really got to have some long term strategies to keep those sales going. And you can absolutely make money off of your backlist. So if you have books that are already out there and you think it's too late for this video to help you, I beg you to look back at your backlist. I've got some stuff out about making money off of your backlist. Dig through, find it, and start making money off of those books that you've already put out there. Writing may be a passion, but the publishing part is a business. So, I want you to let me know in the comments what are some of the mistakes that you think you've made and how are you going to fix them? And be sure to follow me for more publishing advice. I want you to check out my website, KarliMichelle.com, where I teach courses on the publishing and writing process. Let's make some money together.